Dear students, today as part of our paper consumer awareness, we are going to deal with the fifth chapter in which we have only two important subtopics. The first subtopic is about model forms of complaint. So, a PDF format has been posted in the previous class, and I believe that you must have gone through that PDF file and would have acquainted yourself with the model form. So, in this class, I am trying to elaborately discuss what are the various features of that form. In the first page of the form, you have to make sure about in front of which magistrate you would like to take your case, whether you are going to take your case in front of the Honorable District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum or in front of Honorable State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. So this choice has to be made first. So following that, you have to provide details pertaining to your full name. So usually initials will be at the end, and you have to include also your father's name, because in various cases, in order to clarify the identity of the complainant, the name of the father is also included. So complete address has to be given, so door number, street name, and other details including pin code. So details pertaining to village, tahsil, city and state should also be included, and similar information should be provided pertaining to the opposite party. So opposite party, it might be one person or more than one person, but there will be one major contestant, and that party and his full name should be provided, and his dealership, shop details, or details pertaining to his firm or manufacturing has to be provided. His complete address with the pin code has to be provided, along with details pertaining to within which village he is conducting his business, which tahsil, city and state, all of that has to be furnished. Thirdly, you have to provide details about the goods and services about which you are making your complaint. So there are 7 major components to this, and the first component is about the details of goods and services. Item of goods with quantum or nature of service has to be informed. Date of purchase has to be informed, and or service, if you have obtained some service, then the date in which the service is obtained should be informed. So amount paid as consideration should also be informed. So when you speak about amount, you have to furnish the photostat copies of bill, voucher or receipts and so on and so forth. So there should be some evidence pertaining to your payment. These days predominant number of payments are made online, and if online payments are made, you have to have that copy. So earlier in one of the classes I have said that some transfer made online from your bank account does not inform the identity of the beneficiary. So you have to be very careful about that. You have to see to that the particular beneficiary is the person who you have sent money. So the second part of the third column is whether the complaint relates to, you have to clarify whether the complaint relates to loss or damage as a result of unfair trade practices adopted by the trader. So that information has to be provided, and you may also state whether you have come across just one defect or more than one defect. Similarly, in service, if you have come across with some poor service, what kind of deficiencies that you have seen, that you have to elaborately mention here. So fourthly, if you are affected by excess pricing, then you have to provide information pertaining to that, and you can also mention what is the price fixed by the government or the price mentioned in the product cover, and you can make a comparison of prices between various retailers also. So this has to be provided. Part 3 of the third column is indication of the nature of unfair practices adopted by the trader. Statement as to the quality etc. of food sold or services made has to be said. So, some traders would have sold a particular commodity for a particular quantum, but if you measure in your home, that might not fulfill the expected quantity. So, if you have purchased 1 kg of rice and if you are weighing it is only 900 grams in your home, then it is a cause for a consumer complaint. So, in that case you have to state the quantity as well as quality. If the quality is very poor, then you have to make that the quality that I expected is not there. Some traders sell rice which have some kind of termites in that and maggots also, and therefore you might not feel like consuming it, and therefore you can make your complaint on that ground also, and therefore it is very important to state that. And sponsorship of goods and dealers has also to be mentioned, and if there is violation of warranty and guarantee, and the period of warranty that has been mentioned, and how much period you have used the product, that details has to be furnished, and for this detail you have to attach photocopy also. So, if it is also disparaging of goods to other traders, if for instance if you are buying a television set and they are offering this television set at a very low rate and the quality is not good, but it threatens the business of other companies or other retailers in the same location, then it is a cause for complaint. So, you have to mention all these also. The remaining 4 parts of the column 3 are the nature and extent of defects in goods, and nature and extent of deficiencies in services, details of price fixed and price charge, and any other matter related to the above mentioned complaint or issues. The fourth column is about the details of attempts made to get the matter complaint or the efforts that you have made to settle that before. So, your personal negotiations, details pertaining to personal negotiations. So, if you have personally visited the retailer or the manufacturer and you have entered into a negotiation, then you have to inform that here. And details of written communication with trader or the opposite party has to be also mentioned. In this case, you have to attach copies of the correspondence you have made with the manufacturer. And thirdly, if you have made any application to other authorities such as the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Commission, then you have to provide the copies of that. So, as said in the previous class, you should not directly go to the consumer court and approach. You have other mechanisms within the manufacturer segment itself to resolve the crisis, and you can get justice there. But if you are denied justice, then with the adequate documents you have to approach the court. So, the fifth column is about whether any other law, rules, regulations, procedures are applicable in this case. So, as I said earlier, there are provisions of the Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, and similar law, Indian Evidence Act, and similar laws which might have been infringed by the manufacturer. Then you have to mention as and such law which have been violated and the grounds of violation. In the sixth column, you have to make details of the documents and witnesses that you have to substantiate your case has to be provided. So, which is the first document you like to provide as evidence, and you have to serialize that, and you also should serialize the number of witnesses that are in your strength vis-a-vis the case has to be informed. Seventhly, it is about the relief that you claim. So you just want to get defects in the goods removed, and you may also like to remove the defect and replace the good with new goods. So you may also think of returning the price and claim the charges paid by you. And fourthly, you may think that you have sustained some injury and you have been underwent some pressure in mind, and therefore you need some compensation, then you can make that. So you have to put your claims very honestly and straightforwardly. The eighth column gives an information to you, that is, this particular complaint is received on the basis of section 11 bar 1 bar section 17 of the Consumer Protection Act. So this is the particular provision which enables a consumer to make a complaint. So on the basis of this particular article, you are making your complaint, and here following that you have to inform the extent of amount involved in rupees. So in earlier classes I have mentioned, if you are approaching the state commission or the national commission, then accordingly the price should have variation, and therefore you have to mention the amount involved in the particular trade, and also you have to inform the cause of action having accrued. So why you are making this complaint, that has to be informed here. In the second page, that is, you have the prayer of the complainant. So in the prayer it reads, it is therefore most respectfully prayed that, here you should give the details of the prayer. That is, if you want to punish the particular offender, then you should make your prayers accordingly, and usually what happens is only one prayer should be made, and established legal luminaries, they make prayers in such a way that the compensation, punishment, etc. are included in one prayer. So that is being made. And finally, you should also mention through who you are getting your problem solved. So you should authorize someone. It might be a representative, an advocate, a voluntary consumer association, and so on and so forth. So here you should first of all think that the representative, if I am a man and I am suing a case, I may make my wife as a representative because I am engaged in work and she is having leisure time more than myself, and therefore she can go to the court and contest on behalf of me, so I can give representation to her, or I can involve a lawyer here. So lawyers usually they submit a wakalat and they continue to pursue the case on behalf of you. So there are many non-governmental organizations also who are interested in taking cases pertaining to consumer protection. So you can authorize them also. So finally you have to make your signature. So signature that should be verifiable with your other documents should be made, and usually thumb impression is best. You have to substantiate your signature with your thumb impression also. So the place and date of your signature should also be mentioned. So from where you are signing and on which date you are signing has to be clarified. Furtherly, verification is also made. So in verification, I, son of this person, resident of this address, do solemnly declare and state that the particular stated above are true to the best of my knowledge and belief, and no part thereof is false, and nothing material has been concealed therefrom. This is the reading given here. The annexures are exact copies, translation of their are original, and I undertake to pay any sum required for the conducting of test in the laboratory as per the provisions of section 13 bar 1 bar D of the Consumer Protection Act. So following that you have verified at this date of this year, and also details of month has to be provided. So these are the procedures that we have to follow. So you have to provide as enclosures various documents that you have to support your case. So you may 1 2 3 annex sure 1 2 3, and accordingly you have to fix it. Earlier also we have in one column stated that we are going to provide evidence, so that has to be annexed here. So this is the model complaint that we have, and you have to follow this procedure before you lodge a consumer complaint in front of a district forum or state forum. So earlier in previous classes I have said that national forum is only a signal body, and the provisions of the state forum is sufficient to fulfill all the expectations of the consumers. So with these observations on the model form of complaint, I would like to conclude my lecture. Thank you very much.